It's time. And that time is to compare Nekoyanin's products to the supposed, alleged originals from Alibaba. If you are somehow unfamiliar with Nekoyanin and all of the controversy surrounding her at the moment, I do have a video that I recently uploaded just going over the basic points of everything and everyone involved. Now, after making these videos, I decided that I wanted to experience it myself. I am not scared of being proven wrong, and I would actually like to do a direct comparison of the products versus what people believe are the originals from Alibaba. I went ahead and ordered some products off of Alibaba, which seemed to be the closest matches that I could find through my research. There might be other ones that I did not come across. If you know of any, please put them in the comments, but I got these 4 items, and I plan to order the matches from Nekoyanin's store. Now, from Nekoyanin's store, I was planning to buy the Morbid palette, a graphic liner, and the Sailor Moon brushes, but surprisingly, as soon as I called out those brushes in a video, they were deleted from her store and no longer available. Because I couldn't purchase these brushes, I instead got a lip gloss, but because I had already ordered all of the products I was going to be comparing it to, we will just be comparing these brushes, which have existed since 2016, to the pictures from Nekoyanin's website. I know it's not the same as having a direct comparison between products, but unfortunately, she completely removed them from her store, so we cannot do that. Now, before this video was even in the making, before the products were even ordered, before I even knew what I was going to be reviewing, Nekoyanin was already defending herself on TikTok. Despite not knowing what products were going to be ordered, what the comparison was going to be to, where they were from, or anything of that sort, she was already posting, crying about how I was a liar, about how my sources were fake, etc. I had not even shared the sources. I feel it's really important to address Nekoyanin's video about this, which was a complete lie. I was approached by this individual on TikTok who was curious about the palettes and where they could find them. I provided multiple links showing that they had existed for a long time, the closest matches, the ones with fastest shipping, etc. One of these listings did use an image that had the same shade names as Nekoyanin. Now, this could be because they stole it from her, because they were the manufacturer and they had the rights to this, because they are common shade names. We don't actually know, but this was not a version of the palette that you could purchase. You could not purchase it with the words on it. It was just an example image of what they could produce. So a lot of people have been saying this is because they are her manufacturer and it is an example of an item that they can produce. It's an example of the words that they can put onto a palette, and they are using Nekoyanin's because they printed it. Now, I don't know anything about the legitimacy of that, so we're just gonna put that out in the air, and it's not a fact, okay? So Nekoyanin used this in a video. She cut out all of the information from the DMs and just took this one link that this person sent to them. This one link is not my source. This one link is not what all of the claims are based on. This one link was an example that ships faster. Now, I'm not saying this is the original product that Nekoyanin copied. Nowhere was that said, but that's where Nekoyanin ran in her video with the storyline of, oh, AliExpress has copied me. The good thing is I wasn't actually saying that this is the original product. This is just a variant that had faster shipping, and it is widely available across multiple places. I provided multiple links for that reason. And the oldest existing mention that I could find from it is in 2019. Keep in mind, Nekoyanin opened and registered her store in 2021. Now, before I start the actual comparison, I need to give you a trigger warning. I need to give you a jump scare warning. I need to give you a content warning. I just need to warn you that I am purple. I have a condition that affects my circulation, therefore my skin does not look like normal people's skin. You may be jump scared every now and again in the video because I look like a corpse. This is not something I can control. It will fade in and out. I might look normal at some points. I might look like I've literally been dead and in rigor mortis for the past 5 months in other frames. You're just gonna have to deal with it, and I guess it's kind of a useful resource on how her makeup looks on skin that isn't quite normal. I also have tattoos, so let's have some fun coloring them in. Okay, here are the products side by side. On the left, we have Alibaba or AliExpress, and on the right, we have Nekoyanin's. I also got this lip oil, but unfortunately, because I was supposed to get the brushes and got this instead, I hadn't planned anything from Alibaba to compare it to, but here's an example of what I would have ordered if I had actual time and reason to create this video and I wasn't interrupted by her insanely long shipping times. So just to start, we're going to swatch this lip balm on my hand so you can watch it develop as the video goes on, because as far as I'm aware, they take a few minutes to actually stain the skin. Straight off the bat, the box is cute. I don't really have anything to complain about on that front. I'm not really a makeup user, but it seems pretty cute. The bottle is cute. Again, it's like exactly the same as what you would find on Alibaba, just with an image printed onto it, but we can't judge it just off the packaging, so we're going to test it on my hand. That was really hard to get out of the container. I don't know if that was just a first use thing. Hold on. Yeah, that's kind of difficult to get out. I don't know if that's normal for lip balms. I've never used a lip balm, but I just feel like that's important to note. Applicator is this weird little pink thing, and we're just going to swatch it on my hand. Okay. It's essentially just like a clear gloss. Looks like it has oh my god. Okay, we're off to a really great start here. We're going to leave that on my hand throughout the video, and you'll be able to see it develop. I've already made a huge fucking mess, but that is my own fault for not looking at what I was doing. We're going to start with the brushes because I have nothing to compare them to from Nekoyanin's store, so it will be pretty quick. Here's a quick view of the brushes, including the bag, which is exactly the same, if not identical, to what was shown on Nekoyanin's website. We have a few large ones, a couple of small ones. I have no idea what these are used for, but this is the important part. Let's have a look at the ends. Let's compare them to the pictures on Nekoyanin's website. So far, I am not seeing anything different. 3 of 3, they will look exactly the same. Let me know in the comments if you guys see any differences here, because I'm 99% sure this is the exact same product. This is the only one that might be different. In the pictures, this little thing at the end looks pink, but in person it is white. This is a problem on both Amazon and Nekoyanin's listing. These are actually a lot sturdier than I thought they would be. I'm just going to point that out for anybody who was thinking about getting these brushes. They're heavy. They're actual metal. Now, for the graphic liners, you will notice that they look slightly different. There's a reason for this. So when buying these liners from the original supplier, you can choose the packaging, whether it be square or circle. It was cheaper for me to get the circles, and I thought, why the hell should I pay a few dollars extra just to get the square? Just so it can look closer to Nekoyanin's. You know that it's the same stuff, it's just in a different package. I didn't pay the extra that a white labeler would to have the actual container changed and something printed on the front. I just got the basic because it was cheaper. Right. Now for the first actual comparison. We have the graphic liners. Again, not the same packaging. I did that on purpose because I didn't want to pay extra, but you can get them in this exact square mold. Let's do a comparison of the colors, just straight out of the packaging. I don't see any difference here. Even the print that's pressed into looks exactly the same. Again, I'm not a makeup user. I'm not a makeup consumer. I'm not sure if there's some glaring differences here that I'm not seeing, but this is the same fucking product in my eyes. A little bit of water in this test tube from my aquarium, and we're going to go in with one of these little brushes. I assume this is what you would use for eyeliner. I just use the pens. I'm going to get a little bit of water, and we're going to swatch it on my arm. We're going to start with Nekoyanin's. Now this is water activated, so you do have to mix it in with the water a little bit just to create this paste. We're gonna fucking go ham. I'm gonna assault this thing like she does in her videos. Oh my god. Jesus fucking Christ, bro. Anyways. That's nice. Honestly, I would use this as eyeliner. Now that I have it, I may as well use it, and I don't hate it. Now we're gonna go in with the Alibaba version, doing the same thing, just getting a little bit of water and mooseying that motherfucker up. This brush has a tail for some reason. Anyways, we're just going to swatch this right beside this one, and again, this looks exactly the same. I don't know if that's just me. I'm actually going to blend them together, just so we can see the colors directly beside each other. Nekoyanin seems to have already dried, but I'm going to leave these sit for a couple of minutes, and we'll do a comparison of how they look when they're dry. Alright, I have let them sit for a little bit, and there is a slight difference in the light reflection. This one looks a little bit more matte. This one looks a little bit more shiny. I don't know if that's due to the amount of water that I used or what. My hands are already turning black just handling my arm. It doesn't stay very well, but obviously I haven't used setting spray or anything like makeup artists use. We're just going to go ahead and rub these off with water. This AliExpress one is coming off really nicely. This is just water, by the way. It's not micellar water or makeup remover or anything like that. It is just water. So we'll remove just that side with the water. I don't need anything else over here. Pretty clean. Now we're going to do the same with Nekoyanin's side. This is where I ran into a very glaring problem. It stains like a motherfucker. So I think we can safely say that this is not the same formula. She doesn't share the formula or the ingredients on her website. That's kind of shady, but whatever. No matter how hard I scrub, you can literally see that I'm making my skin turn red here. It is not coming off. I went and I used soap, water, I used micellar water, I used everything that I had on hand. It would not come off. So for the rest of the video, my arm is going to be stained black. Time for the most important part, the palettes. Now, this is the one that I got from Alibaba. It's obviously already a little bit bunged up because I've had it for 4 weeks. before Nekoyanin's order even arrived. So I have been using 2 of these shades on my own eyes just here and there. It had one of those plastic sheets over top of the shades that was supposed to manage fallout, I believe. Nekoyanin's didn't have this. These are just the shades, and we will pull out the Nekoyanin palette to compare. This is the Morbid palette. It was, I think, $30 on her website. I will add a correction if that's wrong. Here are the shades. Again, seemingly the exact same. They have little names pointed under them. I haven't opened this previously, and it was already falling everywhere. I don't know if that's normal for eyeshadow, but you guys can tell me in the comments. This looks the same. No? Here's just a little side-by-side. To me, they look the same. To you in the comments, let me know. I do see a slight difference between the actual packaging itself. Nekoyanin's one does seem to be a little bit more messy, but I assume that's because they had to add a layer of printed paper on top, sort of pasted around the edges, so things like the hinge look a little bit different. But the actual palette itself, the palette size, everything like that is the same. It's the same weight, same mirror. Here comes the important part, the ingredients. These are the exact same. The way that the back is printed is also very common in Alibaba products. I found at least 20 just in a quick scroll that had the exact same writing on the back. It seems to be a template that they use in these mass production stores. Right, we're just going to do a swatch comparison of Nekoyanin's versus Alibaba. I originally used a brush, but I found that that does not seem to be the way to swatch. I don't know if it's the wrong type of brush. I don't use eyeshadow, I'm not really sure, so I started doing it with my fingers. We're starting with the shade Shadow from Nekoyanin's palette. That's the one in the bottom right. It's supposed to be like a black, but as you can see, I was getting trouble finding any pigment whatsoever with the brush, so I went in with my finger. And again, it's not really black. I would call this more of a gray. Now, with the Alibaba palette, we had pretty much the exact same issue. It's essentially see-through. I'm not really sure if that's normal for a black eyeshadow, but I've had ones from the dollar store that are a lot blacker than this. Ashes. This is the first glitter one. I struggled with this one. It would not pick up on the brush no matter what I did. I was literally just pulling pigment out of the brush itself. The dye was leaching into my skin with how hard I was pressing. I ended up having to sort of like pat down on it with my finger and stick the glitter together and then tap it onto my skin, but it would come off if I moved too much. I had the exact same problem with the Alibaba palette where it just would not work with the brush, and I had to go and sort of shove it together with my fingers and place it on my skin very gently to have it like actually stay. I'm not sure if this is just like a glitter thing, but I was not vibing with it. As for the actual comparison, I don't know how you would be able to copy somebody's glitter this perfectly. It is the exact same thing. Now we're going in with sort of the violet shade. It's called Worship. I was assuming this was going to be pink, like it is in the palette, but on the skin, it's kind of just a silver. On its own, pretty pigmented, pretty nice. I might use this, maybe. The Alibaba version, exactly the same. I don't have any comment on this. It is the same thing. Then we're going to go in with Wednesday, the one on the bottom middle. It is another black, but it's more glittery. It's kind of got a shiny effect. Nothing to say here. It's nice. It's darker. Alibaba version, pretty much the same thing. Then we're going to jump into Frost, the second glitter. This one is more of like a pinkish yellow. I'm not sure what color it's supposed to be, but I really do like it. Then we're going to do the Alibaba version. And yeah, this is the same thing. This is Fog, the white. I assume it's supposed to be white. On me, it kind of just looks like a clear glitter because I am so pale, but I like it. It's shiny. Again, sort of more silver than what it was supposed to be, but no complaints here. The Alibaba version is, again, exactly the same thing. People who have a more keen eye for shades and stuff like that, do let me know if you see a difference beyond the lighting, just because of how my arm is angled. I don't see anything at all. We're just going to quickly pop in to remove this lip stain. It was already rubbing off just from me moving around, so I decided to wipe the rest of it off, and this looks like a bruise. It looks kind of like if you eat an ice lolly and the red food coloring stains your skin a little bit. I wasn't loving it. I don't think I will ever wear this, but it did work. As I had already made a huge fucking mess all over the sheet, I decided just to swatch the darker and glittery shades onto it to see if there was any visible difference on the fabric itself, and I think this was a great idea because you can really see on the white background how there is essentially no tangible difference between these products at all. So at the end of my very amateur makeup review, what do I think? I still truly believe that there is an issue of white labeling here. White labeling itself is not a problem. It's just the lying, the deceiving, the random backflips and fucking lengths gone to defend herself against something that's not a crime, something that most people don't actually care about is crazy. I think that these products are the same thing. Obviously, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a makeup artist. I don't have an eye for like very slight differences in tone, but I believe if they are made in the same place, they are made in bulk. Any sort of minute difference there may be between, say, the purple shades does not matter. That happens. I truly believe, just based on the ingredients alone and the order that they are listed in, this is the same thing. There is no difference. There is nothing changed. The only thing that was done is choose the custom print option for the front of the palette. The fact that these items have existed since 2019 does prove a very glaring point that she did not create them. She's not the original, and she has no right to be on the internet going at people's throats over the fact that this is her own original product. If you want to buy from Nekoyanin, that's great. I believe that the art is really cool. I do wish she would tag the artists because the stickers that I got when I ordered from her, I want to find who they're from. They're actually so fucking cute, and I want to follow the artist. So if you want to buy from her, go ahead and do that. All I am stating is these products exist and have existed elsewhere for years, for literally cents, if not dollars. Now, Nekoyanin's palette, would I have spent $30 on it if I already owned a product like this that was only $2 and I knew that it would work exactly the same way? No. And I think that's information that a lot of people will find handy. Now, there has been a lot of conversation online about the fact that her products, just like the Alibaba products, contain mostly talc. Talc is not a safe ingredient if it is not regulated. Now, she has no documentation at all whatsoever suggesting whether this is regulated talc or not, so that is a risk that you are willing to take whether you buy from her or Alibaba. With all that being said, I am so thankful, yet absolutely fucking terrified, that I have gained 15,000 subscribers since I started posting a week ago. That's crazy. Like, I can't wrap my head around that. I was under the belief that YouTube was a platform where you post and you maybe get 500 views unless you are PewDiePie. So I thank you guys so much for that. It's insane. And if you guys would like to see more content from me, just comment below any stores, any places, any people that you've been seeing on TikTok that you think I should review. Because I am so ready to start spamming this platform like I do with TikTok, just having fun with educating people and sharing my opinions on things. If you are a Nekoyanin fan and you saw this video, I am so sorry. I will make a dedicated pinned comment down below for Nekoyanin fans to spout their feelings and just have sort of a shared therapy space for them to let those feelings out. If you want to tell me to die because I compared her products with something I believe to be the original, you could go over to my Discord and let me know there, but I think you might get banned on YouTube for doing so. Long story short, I love you guys, every single one of you guys, even if you were a Nekoyanin stan, and I will be back in my own time. Mwah.